Let's talk about disrespect, maybe potentially, or I'm not sure what you want to call it because we don't know the reasons. So I'm going out there a little bit in this regard, but based on the players that are on the teams, which is me and the boys, Spectre Shallow, and I guess whoever they brought in Nozaki, they didn't play the third place game. I assume that was that was mostly motivated by ego, knowing what those guys are like. And especially about Baba Booey, I reckon Fuchsia was just not bothered playing the 5th, 6th playoff game. Um, Considering Fuchsia was a sub for Dmox. Do you think that's a big error? Because for me, we look at the points table, Sam, okay? And if we look at the points table for this event, Bababooey now are struggling, right? As in, like, they might not get 4th place. Like, Hoovers are all over them. They're 15 points behind, and they've outscored them, by 45 points in the last event. Considering Hoovers didn't play in the first two. And also, you look at me and the boys, right? They are 48 points behind, right? So if Carbon Zero finish second, no matter what at the next event, Carbon Zero number 1 seed. Number 1 seed is a huge advantage, huge advantage. And I was talking a little bit about this to, I think, Linsk. Like, if you guys can get second place in the next tournament, no matter what, you are first going into the major, which means you're going to play a Bababooey or a Hoovers, right? Chances are, you'll probably beat them most of the time. And if you win that, you're guaranteed 3rd place. Like, that's crazy, isn't it? To not play that game, like, no matter what your ego is or whatever the reason is for the Spectre Shadows and all them.
Yeah, you kind of alluded to this earlier, but the 3rd and 4th place games have really been the key to keeping teams in that top 4, top 5. But that's why Bababoo is going to be knocked out. They didn't take enough of them. As you said, now Carbon Zero is in a fantastic position going into the major because of it again. And me and you were talking about this kind of briefly before. Just how good their chances are going into the major if they do end up as second. Or first, rather, second in the next monthly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Like, if they get second in that one, they're guaranteed 1st place no matter what happens because they'll have 70 points, which means they can't be caught. And all of a sudden, then, I mean, like, me and the boys and Dog with a log, let's just say, this is who I'm assuming will be 2nd and 3rd seed, right? Now, there's a lot of things need to go right for Carbon Zero, but let's just say this is the eventuality. Then those two teams have to play, right? In the other side of the upper bracket, which means one of those teams is already down to the lower bracket and the day is barely started, which is crazy, don't you think?
Yeah, no, it's an incredible advantage. You'd almost say that, like, you'd almost be better off being 4th than 3rd in the rankings, just because you'd probably end up playing a bit of an easy Carbon Zero.
Can't take that risk though, ever really. You know, that's just not the way to go about those kind of things. You know, like those things can
especially
come back to
how tight it is between 4th and 5th. You could end up just in the bottom half completely.
Definitely, you could end up nowhere all of a sudden. But yeah, it comes back to bite Dog with a log and me and the boys in the end with their toxicity penalties, especially Dog with a log. Like, it really penalises them because they didn't play in the first tournament. Either did me and the boys, obviously, right? But you know, considering, like, it's a big loss for those teams. But yeah, Bababoo, I think I'm more concerned about, if I was to be honest with you, Sam. I mean, those guys have not looked like a good team. They look like a team of 3 individuals, 2 players that play the exact same, and one guy who's completely lost. I think if they play Hoovers, 9 times out of 10 they get slapped, if I was to be honest with you. Because they just don't look like a good team. And to be honest, Jaffa is now playing good Rocket League for the first time in a long time that I've seen.
So if he can get into the major,
like, I think that Jaffa team can definitely, like, they'll definitely, like, win a series. Like, they're definitely a 5th, 6th team on average, and they can definitely get into top 4. So yeah.
I agree. I hope Jaffa can make it in because he's been screwed over enough times, and it would be nice to see him in the major. Because as you said, he's finally playing like very old Jaffa Rocket League. He's out of the slump. He's peaking again. So
he bought the PC. He bought the PC back. It took him a couple of months to get back to get used to the high refresh rate, but yeah.